Have you ever thought, I'll know when it's time? Whether it's time for investing or renting or retiring or moving or changing careers, do you ever think I'll have clarity at the right moment and I'll know what to do? Today, we're going to challenge that potential lie.
Moving forward with the Dekker team. Moving forward together with the Dekker team.
Welcome to Life's Inside Track, episode 754. I'm Yetta Dekker.
And I'm Ken Dekker.
Thanks for connecting with us weekly as we have honest conversations about building wealth wisely through real estate.
Yeah, and for everyday Canadians, which is awesome.
Because that's who we are.
Yes.
And so why would we talk to somebody that isn't kind of like us?
So we talked about the lie, right? That we'll know when it's time.
Well, sometimes we'll know.
And I think the bigger thing is we're looking for clarity, right? And we think it comes from waiting. But what we really want is certainty.
Right. And what we've found, and our clients have found, that you usually will get certainty after you have clarity.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like the certainty doesn't come first.
No, it doesn't. But they want certainty before they make a decision. But we find that when you get clarity, you make your first step, and then a little bit more comes, and a little bit more comes. And then near the end, you go, oh, this was a great decision. That's the goal anyway.
That's the goal.
Mm-hmm.
And I think what you said is interesting. We think, and I have thought many times, and maybe you were like me, you thought, well, I'm just going to wait because the answer is going to appear. I'm going to know this is the right time. I'm just going to wait.
Yeah, and when you're waiting, you might hear things like maybe next Christmas or next year or in the spring. You put out these kind of arbitrary timelines, which really most of the time are not affecting the decision. They're just a delay tactic.
Right, because it's fearful to make a change for most of us. Mm-hmm. Most of us don't really want to make a change, whether it's like upcoming retirement or whether it's changing careers or whether it's making a move in your house, right? Yeah. It doesn't really matter what it is. We tend to get somewhat, I'm going to use the word paralyzed by the thought of change. It's uncomfortable. Heck, yes. I don't want to pack. I don't want to do the cleaning up. I don't want to do what's required to get me to the other side. So sometimes it's that I build that the process is too much. And so then I'm just going to wait till the process doesn't seem overwhelming. Because next time Yetta goes away, I'm going to clean out the garage. Have I ever heard that before, Ken?
Yeah, a couple times.
A couple times. And it doesn't necessarily happen. Why doesn't it necessarily happen?
Because it'd be better if you were here to help me anyways.
But then it doesn't happen when I'm here.
Yeah. And so really what we're thinking in this process, the decision making,
right?
Mine's the procrastination thing, not so much a decision making. But when you're looking, are you taking time to gather wisdom? And ask yourself this, or am I just hesitating? Am I avoiding the discomfort? Am I avoiding the pain or the time and effort and dirtiness of cleaning out the garage? Right? Like, which is it?
Which is it? Because there is a discomfort when we are going to make a change.
Absolutely.
It's going to be uncomfortable. And I think for me at least, and maybe for you as well, have you ever kind of thought that the change shouldn't be so uncomfortable? If it's a good decision to make a move for argument's sake, we'll go with that since we're realtors and we help people make moves every day. We think it shouldn't be this hard. And yet after we've lived in a house for 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, bottom line is it's going to be a little bit hard.
It's going to be uncomfortable.
It's going to be uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
It's not going to, that part's not going to be fun when you start with your whole list. And this is just a little bit of great thing that you can do even if you're not ready to make a decision or even book a clarity call right now or even ready to really think about it. Doing the 5 steps, going through your house when there's no pressure, there's no need, will alleviate the pressure when it is time. And those 5 steps are really simple. Everything you touch, first of all, ask yourself, like, does it actually bring you joy? Does it actually still serve a purpose? Like, is it still necessary in your house? And if the answer is no, then you can either decide to toss it because it really is done, like that great lounger that I had to have in the backyard that really is done. It just needs to go. Or is it something I can gift to somebody? Can I give it away and they're going to get great joy from it? Right?
Cool.
Or is it something that I can thrift, which might be similar to give, but you may be able to give it to somebody in the family that would really appreciate it, or somebody that you know that would benefit greatly from it, or give it to a thrift, or maybe it's something you can sell. Maybe it has enough value that you can actually get some money back in your bank account to help with the upcoming move or the move that might happen at some point. Or is it something that you need to keep, but you really don't need to use? And this one's a tough one because I pack away things and then I don't see them again. And then I wonder whether I really should have packed them away or whether I should have done one of the other things, right?
Well, and that's one of the rules of the 5 is if you're uncertain, pack it away. If you don't miss it in 3 months or 6 months, then you don't need it.
You really don't. And then the 5th one is simply, does it need a different home inside your house? Does it still need to stay, but does it maybe need a different placement?
Yeah, and that's just one idea on making decisions. We can broaden this conversation because it can be about specifically real estate, but you also, when else do you wait for the perfect time? Is it when do I retire? Is it when do I change careers? Is it do I ask somebody out on a date? Or a bigger question, do I ask them to marry me? Things like that. Waiting doesn't automatically mean wisdom.
Well, it usually doesn't mean wisdom, right? Really what we're looking for is discernment. It's not about gathering more information necessarily. You need a certain level of information. We don't want you to not have any knowledge base or any information accessible, but sometimes we can even make the information itself the waiting tactic. We're gathering not stuff in our house necessarily, but gathering information and gathering some more, thinking we're now going to make a wiser decision. I can think of some years ago, and this has happened more than once, where people think, well, I am going to look at homes. Okay, I'm ready to look at homes. So they're going to look, but they're really not committed to making a move at this point. So the best thing to do is look at as many homes as humanly possible. I think the most I ever showed one couple was just over 100.
That's a lot.
I know.
That was
pre-internet, where now we look at 100, but we rule them out and we do it online. So the great news is we have a tool now to help simplify it. But I have still shown dozens of homes to somebody when it was no longer beneficial to do so. Yeah. It's just a stall tactic because the homes actually become melded all into one, for one thing. The second thing is you remember the best parts of each house, and now that becomes your dream home. And it was never a home. It was bits of homes, which it's not the way it works, right? It just doesn't work that way. And so the whole idea of accumulating more and more knowledge, whether it's from looking at homes or whether it's just gathering details about the process, it's just, generally speaking, another tactic. Because it's easy to get information today. Yeah. You don't need years to gather it.
Yetta, that reminds me of a couple we just recently helped. And I think maybe they were outgrowing their townhome for many a year. But and like this decision, maybe they were waiting for the timing, waiting for their mortgage to be less, waiting for interest rates to be lower, maybe waiting for the market, waiting. And then they finally decided, hey, let's have Ken in and see what the house is worth and talk to the mortgage broker and just start putting some things into gear, so to speak.
Well, getting some solid information, that means you're equipped to make a sound decision.
Yeah. And I think maybe their head's spinning a little bit because, within a week, we did the evaluation on the home. They had their mortgage approval. Like before I went to do the final eval and what to do with the home to get it ready for sale.
Final eval.
Eval.
That is not
Evaluation.
human speak. That is Ken speak and realtor speak. So what he's saying is we look at the relevant data around the property and sort of come up with what we propose the market will probably allow the home to sell for.
Right.
That's what you're attempting to say?
Yes. And you know that they've been thinking about this for quite a while. And obviously, like most couples, there's one that's more ready to go and the other one that's more hesitant, needs more information. But that being said, within a week, they had conditionally purchased a new property that meets a ton of their criteria.
Well, I'd say anything essential in their criteria list and then some extra wants. Mm-hmm. Everything that was necessary is there, plus some bonus stuff.
And we're not saying that's going to be you and that you need this. No. We're going to see you one week and the next week you're going to have purchased a home. It's just knowing that things can happen quickly if you want them to. And if you have that clarity of it's the right decision to do it.
Right.
Then we guide you through all the process. And we give the information that you need that day and then the next day. We work very diligently not to give you everything we know that's going to happen in the process because that's just overwhelming.
That is overwhelming. I mean, having said that, we do a snapshot overview so you have a sense, but the little details, the little tiny steps through the buying or selling process or both are hundreds. Mm-hmm. And so we want to give you the right one and then the right one and then the right one. So the first right one, if you're thinking, well, I have been having these conversations around my kitchen table or maybe bed pillow talk at night that should we, shouldn't we? Maybe it is this year. Maybe this sounds like you, that you've been having the same conversation for a decade. And you're thinking, okay, I'm ready to move past that. Book a clarity call. Just go to dekkerteam.com and DEKKERTEAM.com. You can book a clarity call. We'll attempt to spend about 15 minutes. And all we're looking for is one next step. We're not trying to solve your life and everything that you ever thought you might want to do. We're just saying, let's have a clarity call, because if you can get one thing clear and you take one step, that then actually paves the way for the next step. Mm-hmm. Sometimes there's 2 or 3 steps that show up, which is fantastic. We've started using the phrase next step clarity call because that's all we're really committed to.
Yeah. And sometimes it's do nothing. The next step is to do nothing.
Yeah. Just stay where you are.
Just keep waiting. Don't move or don't buy or whatever.
Because there are times to wait. Mm-hmm. Because you're not positioned to do the dream. We often do clarity calls with people that want something, but they're actually not positioned for it. So we're going to encourage in that case, do wait. Waiting can be the wisest thing to do, and yet it's certainty and waiting are not a great strategy. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so clarity grows through the conversations, not from simply waiting.
And gathering information.
Mm-hmm. Well, gathering information is valid. It's important.
To a point.
Yeah.
And then it becomes a stall tactic.
And we have to know how to disseminate it, right?
Right.
Life feels lighter when we navigate it with others. And thanks for joining us on Life's Inside Track. Remember, when we move forward together, we've got this.
Moving forward with the Dekker team. Moving forward together with the Dekker team.